A new AI robot just crossed a threshold that many people in robotics have been waiting for. It didn't just get a little better. According to Generalist AI, its new Gen 1 embodied foundation model reached more than 1,800 continuous task repetitions while operating at up to 3 times the speed of its previous system. But what exactly is Gen 1? What did it actually do? And why does this matter for the future of useful humanoid and industrial robotics? Generalist AI says that Gen 1 is its new embodied AI system, designed to bring foundation model-style learning into the physical world. And in the company's latest demonstrations, the model was shown performing a series of repetitive manipulation tasks including folding boxes, packing consumer products, folding clothing, and handling robot vacuum servicing operations. But what stood out most was not just the visual performance, it was the consistency. According to the company, Gen 1 achieved over 1,800 repetitions across production-relevant workflows while maintaining success rates that averaged around 99% on the featured tasks. In robotics, that number matters a lot because a system that works once or twice in a polished demo is very different from a system that can continue operating for hundreds or even thousands of consecutive cycles without accumulating errors, jams, or recovery failures. And that's especially true in environments like warehouses, fulfillment centers, or light manufacturing, where the economics only begin to make sense when reliability gets close to industrial automation standards. One of the clearest examples was box folding. Generalist AI reports that with Gen 1, the robot completed the task in roughly 12 seconds per cycle, compared to about 34 seconds with its earlier system. That comes out to roughly 2.8 times faster, which is why the company is framing the result as nearly a 3 times speedup. And importantly, the task wasn't just repeated a few dozen times. The company says it ran the system through hundreds of consecutive repetitions with near zero failure. That kind of cycle time matters because, in practical deployments, throughput is one of the main constraints on robot adoption. If a robot is too slow, then even high reliability may not justify the capital cost, maintenance cost, and integration burden. But once cycle times start approaching the pace of human labor on narrow, repetitive tasks, the business case changes. For context, at a 12-second cycle time, a robot could theoretically complete around 300 box folds per hour under continuous operation. At 34 seconds per cycle, that drops to roughly 106 per hour. So the shift from 34 seconds to 12 seconds isn't just a marginal improvement, it changes the operational profile of the machine. And Generalist AI is not presenting Gen 1 as a narrow task-specific policy. The company describes it as an embodied foundation model, which means the goal is to have a general base model that can be adapted across different robots and different tasks rather than training every capability from scratch. According to the company, the base model is pre-trained without robot-specific action data. Instead, it draws on more than 500,000 hours of human activity data collected using wearable devices that capture real-world physical interactions. That number is important because data collection has become one of the central bottlenecks in robotics. Traditional teleoperation is expensive, slow to scale, and often limited by operator fatigue and hardware availability. So if a company can build useful robot policies from large-scale human motion and interaction data, and then bridge that into robotic control with only limited task-specific fine-tuning, then the cost structure of robot learning begins to look very different. In Generalist AI's case, the company claims that the demonstrations required only about 1 hour of robot-specific data per task to adapt Gen 1 to each workflow. If that holds up, it would represent one of the more significant trends now emerging in robotics, which is the shift away from heavily handcrafted automation toward large pre-trained systems that learn more like modern language and vision models. In other words, instead of engineering every behavior individually, companies are now trying to build broad priors into a general model and then specialize it with small amounts of additional data. And this matters because the real world is messy. Objects shift, grasps fail, packaging deforms, surfaces vary, lighting changes. And unlike static industrial robots in structured cells, these newer embodied systems need to deal with uncertainty continuously. Generalist AI also emphasized what it calls improv intelligence, which refers to the robot's ability to recover from off-nominal situations without relying on rigid scripted fallback logic. In one example shared by the company, during an automotive kitting task, the robot had to deal with a washer that had shifted out of position. Instead of halting, the system reportedly used multiple strategies to recover the object, including re-grasping and bimanual coordination. And the company says these specific responses were not explicitly programmed as part of the training examples. That claim is notable because one of the biggest historical weaknesses in robotics has been brittleness. A robot can often perform a task perfectly under expected conditions, but fail completely once something small changes. So when companies highlight unscripted recovery behavior, they're really pointing to a possible transition from rigid automation to adaptive intelligence. And while these systems are still early, the ability to recover from unexpected states is one of the clearest signs that embodied AI may be maturing beyond demo-friendly toy problems. Now, if we zoom out beyond just one company, these results land in the middle of a much bigger wave. In the last 2 years, funding and momentum around physical AI have accelerated sharply. According to multiple industry analyses, global industrial robot installations have remained above 500,000 units annually in recent years, and the installed base of operational industrial robots worldwide has surpassed 4 million units. Meanwhile, humanoid and general-purpose robot startups have attracted billions of dollars in combined investment as companies race to build systems that can operate in spaces designed for humans. At the same time, labor shortages continue to pressure logistics and manufacturing sectors. In the United States alone, manufacturing has repeatedly faced hundreds of thousands of open jobs, and warehousing and fulfillment operations continue to struggle with turnover and repetitive task staffing. That doesn't mean robots will replace all these roles overnight, but it does explain why companies are intensely focused on tasks that are simple, repetitive, physically tiring, and economically sensitive to throughput. Folding boxes, packing items, sorting components, and repetitive servicing jobs may not look glamorous, but these are exactly the kinds of workflows where embodied AI can first prove commercial value. And that is really what makes the 1,800 plus reps figure interesting. In research robotics, success is often measured by benchmark scores or short demonstrations, but in real deployment, what matters is durability over time. Can the robot perform the 100th repetition as well as the first? What about the 500th? Or the 1,800th? Reliability compounds into trust. And trust is what determines whether a machine gets moved from a lab prototype into an actual production line. There is also another layer here, which is the distinction between model capability and system capability. A good robot is never just good software. It depends on sensing, mechanics, calibration, safety constraints, motion planning, gripper design, and control latency. So when a company says it achieved 99% success over hundreds or thousands of repetitions, that result reflects more than just a smart model. It implies a fairly mature integration stack, where perception, planning, and actuation are aligned tightly enough to survive real-world variability. Of course, there are still reasons to be cautious. Company-reported metrics are not the same as independent benchmarking. We still don't know how Gen 1 compares under a standardized third-party evaluation against competing systems from firms like Figure, Covariant, Agility, Sanctuary AI, or other embodied AI labs. We also don't know how broadly the model generalizes beyond the tasks shown, how often intervention is required over longer horizons, or how performance changes across different hardware setups. And in robotics, the gap between an impressive pilot and a scalable product can still be enormous. So, if Generalist AI's numbers hold up, then Gen 1 may represent an early glimpse of what production-grade embodied intelligence could look like. Not perfect, not universal, but fast enough, reliable enough, and repeatable enough to start mattering economically. Once that threshold is crossed, improvement can compound very quickly. But the bigger question is whether these robots can move beyond repetitive pilot tasks and into more open-ended real-world work. So tell us in the comments, do you think 1,800 plus reps at nearly 3 times speed is enough to signal real commercial readiness? Or do you still think embodied AI is mostly in the demo stage? Anyways, like and subscribe and check out this video here for more on the latest in AI news.